Hey guys, Chippy here, back to give you some tool tips and a bit of fun, hopefully too, for the wood carvers of this channel. Look at how nice it is out today. I'm just sitting up here on the island ready to tape my first episode for the Yes Man, and I'm enjoying the view. But I was looking through the comments and stuff, and somebody was having a little bit of a problem with their Dremel, and I got some experience with the Dremel myself, because Yes Man taught me everything. Did I mention that I'm a master woodcarver of the wild? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to share a little experience with you about, me and, when your Dremel's going, and burning stuff up, or you're breaking bits, stuff like that. Yeah, I've had a few episodes like that myself, so let me share this little story with you, and we'll see if we can figure that out for you, and you can learn how not to have that happen, okay? And if you like my tool tips and these videos, make sure you smash the like button or consider subscribing if it's any help to you at all, or at least entertaining. And don't forget, after each episode here with a tool tip, I usually go to my therapist and, get some advice on wood carving and some counseling from Dr. Dodo, so you guys can always hang around to the end and follow me to my therapy session. You're always welcome. And I kind of like this support, because he's a little scary. I don't know what kind of trees you have where you live, but here on S-Man's Island, Sticks carves a lot of this stuff, and I do, and these trees are really hard, but, so you might want to, use basswood or maybe, some cottonwood bark when you're first starting out especially, But if you're going to be using the Dremel, chances are if you're going too fast, you're going to burn up your tool if the wood's too hard, and maybe even break your bit or possibly even your flex shaft. Don't worry if that happens. I'll put a link in the description where you can get replacement parts for your tools. Heck, I remember snapping my flex shaft on the inside one time just because I was using the Dremel, and I ended up not paying attention a little bit and my bit got caught on my saddle. Oh, what a mess that was. It snapped inside my flex shaft and scared the berries right out of me that I had for lunch that day. Yeah, that happens to us master wood carvers too, believe it or not. Yeah, it does. So just be careful, and you'll be fine. And remember, don't throw your Dremel away or nothing because, it's good. We can always get replacement parts for such things. Another scenario is sometimes we can just get carving so much and we're going and going and going and the wood's a little bit hard, we start overheating our Dremel because the bit really can't handle the speed that we're going at. So sometimes, you just gotta learn. Yes, man told me to just slow it down a little bit, That's why it's good to get a Dremel or a tool, with a foot pedal or a variable speed, so you can always lower the speed on it. Let me show you a little something that happened to me when I was out here collecting wood with the Yes Man for this scenario. One day I was out with the Yes Man. He was showing me how to, master my skills at getting wood. Yeah, see, there's the Yes Man right there. Sometimes he takes me out riding. I love when he's teaching me stuff. And, I was trying to impress him with my wood cutting skills, and I was going really fast and showing him how quick I could get wood and everything. And, I'm just using my regular wood carving tools here, my old school natural choppers. But, it's the same if you're using your Dremel. But, I was going crazy and I was just going from one thing to the next as fast as I could. And the Yes Man finally told me, hey, you're going to slow down, you're going to overheat things, you don't want to overheat your tools, And, I kept going, and, sometimes you can do the same thing with your Dremel. You can overheat, and I remember this day, it was really bad. I got so hot, my choppers got so hot, I just snapped a tooth. I don't know if you ever snapped a bit, but if you snap a tooth, holy crap, that's painful. And it takes a long time, and it sets you back in your work, and it wasn't a good thing. So I've learned since then, to slow down. If my teeth are getting too hot, same thing. You slow down if your Dremel gets too hot, because that means you're going too fast and you're overworking your Dremel, and, you can burn it up. Yeah, I've had it happen. I burned it up. I burned up my teeth, and I wasn't allowed to cut wood for a month. All because I was going too fast on wood that was too hard. Yeah, it was ridiculously boring, too. I had to take long baths in the ocean. I had to wait a while for my tooth to grow back. Yeah, I was so happy when the time was right for me to carve again, I couldn't contain myself. When the S-Man finally called me back to work, I hadn't tasted sawdust in over a month. I couldn't wait to get grinding again, but it was a lesson well learned, so just so you know, be careful when your Dremel gets hot. If you stop it on time, it could save you a lot of trouble in the long run before something bad happens. Yeah, take it from me, Chippy, your master woodcarver of the wild. That's good advice, Advice from experience, yeah. And be grateful you don't have to regrow a tooth. You could just order another one, but still, it does take up some time, to get one. Okay, so that's going to be my tool tip for the day. And, it's about time for me to go see Dr. Dodo in my therapy session. So if you guys want to come there, I hope this helped. I hope everybody got something out of it. Why don't you come with me down to the doctor's office and we'll see what Dr. Dodo has for advice for today, I'll meet you there. So there, Chippy, how did your first day working over there at the S-Man's channel go? Yeah, don't worry, I talked to him. We kind of worked things out. I still want to peck him, though. But I think everything will be okay, and, he still has time for our channel. That's all I was worried about for now. Well, I think it went pretty good, Doc. We'll have to see. I'll have to see what kind of reaction the subscribers give and stuff. But all in all, it was okay, and I'm getting a little more comfortable talking to people, I'm hoping it went well. Well, that's good. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, huh? Okay, let's get back to your problem now. So, you eat wood, you carve wood, you live in wood. Would you say you have a wood problem? Hey, is that supposed to be some kind of old beaver kind of joke or something, what are you trying to say, Doc? You trying to say I'm too old to cut the wood anymore? Eh, all you gotta do is ask my girl, I did. She was just here. I think you're gonna need a different kind of doctor for that. Oh, man. That's embarrassing.